Hello again, everyone. Marcus here. I review stuff. Today, I'm reviewing the song Broken Chairs by Built to Spill. This is part of my series where I'm listening to every song on this album, Keep It Like a Secret. This album right here. I'm going to speed run the reasons why I chose this album to do. One, because I just really enjoy Built to Spill. Two, I get to see them live in April, so I wanted to catch up on some of their discography so I actually know some of the songs that they'll be performing. And three, my wife really likes Built to Spill. It was one of those albums that or one of those bands that she's been listening to for many, many years, and we've had a chance to reconnect. I'm not reconnect, but she's reconnected her love of Built to Spill. I'm discovering my love for Built to Spill, so it's been a fun thing to connect over. So yeah, anyway, this is the last track on the album. We have made it all the way through, and so I'm really excited to finish it out. So far, the album has been perfect. No skips. Can't wait to hear this one. Hope we can keep it perfect. Let's jump into it. Again, this is Broken Chairs, Built to Spill. Here we go. What an interesting way to end the album, I will say, as it fades out. Because up until this point, we were treated to a sort of bright pop rock masterpiece, right? Um, and I say bright mostly in like some of those guitar riffs, the guitar hooks, right? Lyricism, not so much, but you get this beautiful like pop rock album, um, and from start to finish, you're in these catchy guitar hooks. You get these sort of whiny pop vocals, and so to bookend the the album with like a more bluesy rock outing, I think is pretty interesting. But I really dug it. So hey, let's break it down piece by piece, like we always do, of course, starting with those lyrics. And I do want to read this about section. It says, Broken Chairs is actually a poem written by a poet named Uhuru Black, no relation to the reggae band Black Uhuru, I never heard of them, who was a friend of Built to Spills and passed away shortly before Keep It Like a Secret was recorded. Okay. Vocalist Doug Marsh took the poem and set it to music, making it the last track on Keep It Like a Secret. Cool. Okay, so yeah, it was that kind of makes sense why it was a bit darker sounding. Again, a lot of the lyrics that you get throughout the album are on the darker side, right? But like this, to me was one of the few that sounded much darker as well. Anyway, let's look. Broken chairs your body conforms to, out beyond the quiet garden. You can bring the man form into trust. Through the holes in my everydayness, lends sustenance where starvation's necessary. 'Cause my head's a dictionary of long spring days, and the speech of crows who themselves are mirrors of apprehensions in the falling sun. Very poetic sounding, because I mean it did come straight from a poem, but I'm not too sure what it means. Broken chairs your body conforms to. So I think it's kind of interesting that maybe it's about human beings adapting to their environment, that kind of thing. Out beyond the quieted garden, you can bring the man uh, form or from into trust. Through the holes in my everydayness, lends sustenance where starvation's necessary. 'Cause my head's a dictionary of long spring days and the speech of crows, who themselves are mirrors of apprehensions in the fallen suns. Where starvation's necessary, 'cause my head's a dictionary of long spring days and the speech of crows, who themselves are mirrors of apprehensions in the falling sun, who themselves are mirrors of apprehensions in the falling sun. That is a great line, by the way. Who themselves are mirrors of apprehensions in the fallen sun. So maybe we sort of wear our apprehensions on our sleeve, or maybe sometimes we project our own apprehensions onto others. I'm not too sure, uh, again, what the poet is saying here, but well, all right, you can make it stay. Well, all right, you can make it stay. Well, all right, well, all right, well, all right. Do you want to click here and just see what this person on Genius says? Um, so Uhuru writes of the imperfect man-made constructs that man himself tries to fit into on a daily basis, juxtaposing this with imagery of nature, the quieted garden. He asserts that it's possible to make man's earthly form into something honorable if they work at it every day. That's not what I would have taken from it, but I'm sure that person's a lot smarter than I am. So anyway, I think it is interesting the way it's written. Definitely, again, makes it feel a little bit on the darker side, but I think again, the way I read it is it's about sort of adjusting who you are to fit this sort of idea. Again, the broken chairs that your body conforms to, right? So the fact that human beings are adaptive and do find ways to work around their environment. That's kind of what I read. But at the same time, like, as humans, we are quite flawed, right? And that we see our apprehensions on everyone else, right? And so it's like there's I bet quite a few things that you can take away from this, and I feel like there's a lot of different readings that you could have of this same song. I'm sure if 10 of us read these lyrics and 10 of us read this poem, we'd come through it with 10 separate ideas on what it's about. So lyrically, I thought it was at least really interesting, well written. Of course, that comes from poetry, but I'm sure they probably had to make a few changes to make it sort of song worthy. So for that, I mean, I'll give it a thumb up lyrically. Why not? Instrumentally and vocally, again, Doug sounds great here. I'm assuming he's still on vocals here, but just the way that he sort of changed his vocal sound to fit a song like this, right? Again, you get a lot of like poppier, brighter vocals throughout the album. And so to get this, that's sort of this dark reflection, this sort of melancholy sounding like poetic reading, I thought was gorgeous. I think from him vocally, and then instrumentally, again, the guitar work is fantastic here. You don't get those same like catchy guitar hooks, right? But the guitar work still is fantastic here. Very reminiscent to me of like Neil Young with Crazy Horse, some of the things that they've done and put out, right, where it has that sort of dark, bluesy, folksy rock sound to it. Definitely, I would not be surprised if Doug Martsch says like, yeah, like this was inspired by Neil Young, because I got a lot of that feeling from some of Neil Young's darker things, right? Some of his darker outputs. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one instrumentally, vocally, and then that piano was a nice little surprise. I was not expecting that. I wanted to just see if they have anybody credited for that. Looks like vocals again, Doug, Brett Nelson on bass, Scott Plouffe on drums. Drumming was great too. Keyboards, Sam Coombs, I think that's what it says. I mean, that's what it says. I think that's how it's pronounced. But yeah, I think on the keyboard, piano, whatever it was that he created those sounds with, I thought he sounded fantastic. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's a beautiful song, so it's gonna get 2 big thumbs up from me. For instrumentation and vocals. As far as replay value goes, it does come sort of as a shocker, again, because you get this more bright, beautiful, poppy sound throughout the album, and so they're in it on like a folk, blues, rock, like Neil Young with Crazy Horse-esque, like 8-minute song, or however long it was, 6-minute song. No, it was 8 minutes. Yeah, is definitely an interesting like detour from what the rest of the album holds. But what a beautiful way to like bookend it. I maintain. So I will maintain that this album is perfect to me. No skips. 10 out of 10. I'm gonna give it 2 big thumbs up for replay value. And I will say maybe a thumb and a half actually for replay value, just because I feel like I do sort of have to be in that right mood to listen to sort of a darker, again, bluesier song like this one, especially when you again contrast that to the rest of the album. But I think it still really worked for me, so I think I might change it to like a thumb and a half. Like, it's still really good, and again, the album is still to me pretty damn perfect. So anyway, hey, I really enjoyed going through this entire album. Track by track. Again, the journey started at least like a year, maybe even 2 years ago, when someone had asked me to do Carry the Zero. I never predicted that my love and enjoyment of Built to Spill would grow this much, but here we are. So hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what other albums I should do full listens to. You guys have been very vocal in the comments whenever you do find an album that you're like, hey, do this whole album because it's fantastic. So we'll see what the next album review is. I don't do these all the time. I don't even do, I would say, one a month or anything like that. I just kind of, whenever I'm like, hey, I'm going to sit down and listen to the rest of this album, that's kind of when this stuff like this happens. And it's always one of those where I kind of decide versus like, external pressure, but whatever. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you enjoy the music, go support the artists. Go listen to their music wherever you can, or go see them live like I'm going to. And then if you like what you saw from me, just do all the normal stuff you do on YouTube for your favorite YouTube channels, like liking, subscribing, commenting with your requests, and then you can even check the description to follow me on Twitch, TikTok, or Instagram. Alright, guys, that's going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.